Your objection is noted.
Colonel?
Oh my god. Ah. Hi everyone, my name is Nuri and today I will be watching A Few Good Men. So on Patreon, I put up a poll with movies that I really wanted to watch, and one of the choices that I sneakily put in there was to let me choose the movie for this one, and you all picked that one, and I must say that I'm super grateful for that. I don't have much time to record, so these moments that I sit down are actually the moments that I enjoy movies, so thank you for letting me choose today. I thought I was gonna pick Memento, because I've wanted to watch that one for such a long time. But today I woke up and I'm so in the mood for like a courtroom movie. I cannot explain it, but yeah, so the decision was made. I also tend to believe that reactions are a lot better when you're super in the mood for a movie. So there we go. I hope this one will be a good one. Then I also want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. I do work in law, but I don't work in American law. I do work in Belgian law, and I also don't work in a courtroom. I work in private law. That being said, I'm super stoked. The funny thing is that the 3 actors that are posted on the poster I actually have seen. Tom Cruise is actually the 3rd movie this year that I watched with him, which is crazy because before I hadn't seen anything, and suddenly it's the 3rd movie in a few months. Also now we're gonna see Jack Nicholson and Demi Moore again, which I've seen in The Shining and in Ghost. So let's just jump into it. I'm excited to see what this is going on because sometimes I just want to explode because I'm so excited to watch the movie, and today is definitely one of those. So let's just jump into it. If you like reactions like these, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, if you want to see the full reaction, you can find that over on Patreon. On Patreon, I put polls, and it also supports me a lot. So if you consider joining on Patreon, that would mean the world to me, but never feel like you have to. Let's go!
Question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Oh god. Okay, this started different than I anticipated. What? That looks really interesting. Was that the real speed, or the kind of did that slower and then sped it up for the movie? That was so cool to watch.
2 Marines, a Lance Corporal Harold Dawson and a Private Loudon Downey, entered the barracks room of a PFC William Santiago and assaulted him. They were trying to prevent Santiago from naming Dawson in a fence line shooting incident.
Whoa.
I was thinking it sounded an awful lot like a code red.
Christ.
Captain, I'd like to suggest that I be the one that it be me who is assigned to represent them.
Commander, I'd like you to leave the room so we can talk about you behind your back.
Certainly, sir.
Well, at least he's honest.
She's a hell of an investigator, Jerry.
And internal affairs, sure,
opportunity.
she can crawl up a lawyer's ass with the best of them. But when it comes to trial work, I think...
I know. All passion, no street smarts. Bring her back in.
Might be a good description. All passion, no street smarts. But the only way to get that is to do it.
Well, from what I understand from your colleagues, you're much too valuable in your present assignment to be wasted on what I'm sure will boil down to a 5-minute plea bargain and a week's worth of paperwork. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's so difficult. Damn, so like an internal issue.
Been requested by division.
Requested to do what?
Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Dawson and another member of his squad, PFC Loudon Downey, tie him up. And an hour later, Santiago is dead.
Damn, that's gonna be interesting.
Daniel Caffey, I was told to meet with Lieutenant Commander Galloway.
You're the attorney division assigned?
Oh, she's so disappointed.
And how long have you been out of law school?
A little over a year.
I see.
Have I done something wrong?
You act like you're 12.
Have you ever been in a courtroom?
I once had my driver's license suspended.
Danny.
Commander, from what I understand, if this thing goes to court, they won't need a lawyer. They'll need a priest.
He wanted to be transferred off the base. No one was listening. Are you with me?
Yeah.
There is this thing, of course, that super smart people are a bit eccentric, but also like social rules.
This letter makes it look like your client had a motive to kill Santiago.
And Santiago is who?
What?
My job is to make sure that you do your job. So my jurisdiction's pretty much in your face. You're dismissed.
Ouch.
In exchange for my transfer off the base, I'm willing to provide you with
Information about
an
illegal fence line shooting that occurred the night of August.
Yeah, so he's not really good in the group and he wants to get out, but he's pissing them off in that
See
sense.
William T. Santiago.
I'm still traumatized by his face.
I think Santiago should be transferred off the base immediately.
He's that bad, huh?
But word of this letter's bound to get out. He's going to get his ass whipped.
I can imagine that his unit is not gonna like this, even if it's true.
Let's transfer the whole squad off the base. Get me the president on the phone. We're surrendering our position in Cuba.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute, Tom. Yet maybe we should consider this for a second.
Tom is like...
Maybe we as officers have a responsibility to this country to see that the men and women charged with its security are trained professionals.
I kind of like his attitude of not being like, there's a problem, let's shove it to the side. I think I would have been like, yeah, transfer, yeah. On the other hand, if he's physically incapable, like how much can you push a body to be better?
Santiago stays where he is. We're gonna train the lad. Santiago doesn't make 4646 on his next proficiency and conduct report. And I'm going to blame you. Dismissed.
Yes, sir.
There's also like this test of hierarchy going on in this room, right? Very interesting to see.
Don't ever question my orders in front of another officer.
Whoa! Okay, he was put in his place. It's so difficult between like, can you give your opinion and then in timely back off again to not be offensive?
I wanted to talk to you about Corporal Dawson and Private Downey.
Those names sound like they should mean something to me, but I've
Dawson, Downey, your clients.
done something wrong again, haven't I?
I was just wondering why two guys have been locked up since this morning while their lawyer's outside hitting a ball. But I don't think you're fit to handle the defense.
You don't even know me.
And I wouldn't be doing my job if I allowed Dawson and Downey to spend any more time in prison than absolutely necessary because their attorney had predetermined the path of least resistance.
I'm sexually aroused, Commander.
Oh no.
At 3, the doctor wasn't able to determine the cause of death. 2 hours later, he said it was poison.
Oh.
Remember, somebody over there thinks I'm a pretty good lawyer. I think I can handle things myself.
You know what a code red is? What a pity.
Oh. So now we're actually confused if they did intentionally murder him. It didn't look good though.
What's code red?
Sir, a Marine falls out of line. It's up to the men in his unit to get him back on track.
Oh.
Sir, a Marine refuses to bathe on a regular basis. The men in his squad would give him a GI shower. Scrub brushes, Brillo pads, steel wool.
Beautiful.
I love how they're trying to explain this to us by letting them explain it to him.
Johnny, the rag you stuffed in Santiago's mouth, was there poison on it?
No, sir. We were just gonna shave his head, sir.
When all of a sudden...
He
We
died.
saw blood dripping down his mouth. That's when Lance Corporal Dawson called the ambulance.
And did you fire a shot across the fence line into Cuba?
Santiago's letter to the NIS said you fired illegally.
I wonder, like, with the guy who passed away now, Santiago, because he was struggling with the exercises as well, was he having maybe disease that would have killed him quicker than they could have reasonably anticipated?
Did you assault Santiago with the intent of killing him?
No, sir.
What was your intent?
To train him, sir. Train him to think of his unit before himself. Unit, corps, God, country. Sir.
Isn't it also kind of chaotic to be like, you're gonna expose me, so I'm gonna train you?
I'm the only friend you've got.
Oh man. At this point, it's so hard to feel like what is actually going on, which makes it super interesting.
Welcome to the big time.
You think so?
Let's hope for Dawson and Downey's sake.
Oh my god!
Unfortunately for Dawson and Downey.
The platoon commander, Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick, held a meeting with the men and specifically told them not to touch Santiago.
Oh, so they were stepping out of their hierarchy as well. It's funny how that code red thing would make it from 20 years to 12 years.
Jack Ross came to see me today. He offered me the 12 years. It took about 45 seconds. I barely put up a fight.
Danny, take the 12 years. It's a gift.
So you feel like it could get lower? Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be discovered more to this.
Camouflage jackets? Yes, sir. We'll be riding pretty close to the fence line. The Cubans see an officer wearing white. They think it might be someone they want to take a shot at. Is there a problem, sir?
No, no problem. I'm just not that crazy about boats, that's all.
Jesus Christ, Cappy, you're in the Navy for...
Yeah.
How the hell is your dad, Danny?
He passed away 7 years ago, sir.
Don't I feel like the fucking asshole?
I think it's actually better to call it out like that instead of like acting like that was just nothing.
I told the men that we had an informer among us and that despite any desire they might have to seek retribution, Private Santiago was not to be harmed in any way.
It's kind of weird that he said there is someone, don't harm Santiago. Did they already know that it was him? Did he actually give them the info that this was going on? So in saying like, don't do this thing that you didn't know that you want to do, but now you really want to do it, kind of like push them in that direction. Damn.
Have I done something to offend you?
No, I like all you Navy boys. Every time we gotta go someplace to fight, you fellas always give us a ride.
Whoa!
Private Santiago is dead, but he is dead because he had no code. He is dead because he had no honor, and God was watching.
What a weird thing to say.
Santiago is going to reveal the person's name in exchange for a transfer.
Yes.
Feel free to speak up.
Thank you. We agreed that for his own safety, Santiago should be transferred off the base.
What? That's so dangerous because then you're really assuming that everyone is going to take your story and that the two others are going to defend that story as well.
Of course, I met with the doctor, but one of my men was dead.
You've ever heard the term Code Red?
I've heard the term, yeah.
You received a cautionary memo warning that the practice of enlisted men disciplining their own wasn't to be condoned by officers.
But whoever wrote that memo has never faced the working end of a Soviet-made Cuban AK-47 assault rifle.
I don't get why you would say that you kind of think it's a foolish thing instead of just being like, yeah, absolutely, I think it's great.
Do Code Red still happen on this base?
It just hit me. She outranks you, Danny. There is nothing on this earth sexier than a woman that you have to salute in the morning.
Colonel, the practice of Code Reds is still condoned by officers
My
on this
problem
base.
is I'm a colonel, so I'll just have to go on taking cold showers until they elect some gal president.
I need an answer to my question, sir.
Damn, this pisses me off so much.
And if it happens to go on without my knowledge, so be it. I run my unit how I run my unit. I eat breakfast 300 yards from 4,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me, so don't think for 1 second that you can come down here, flash a badge, and make me nervous.
Well,
Colonel, I just need a copy of Santiago's transfer order.
What's that?
I just need it for the file.
oh, smooth. They're gonna make a fake one, right? This is like...
What I do want is for you to stand there in that white uniform and with your Harvard mouth extend me some fucking courtesy.
Please.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Well, he likes his position a lot, right? It's such a power play as well to be like, I can put you down because you're a woman. I can put you down because you don't have any rank and you all need something from me. But damn, is it like... oof. I think it might be a hard balance because I can see why in a military hierarchy is really important because in moments of chaos, it needs to be clear who's gonna say what needs to happen and nobody's gonna like I get that. But with great power comes great responsibility.
I think Kendrick ordered the Code Red, and so do you.
Yes.
Said, did Lieutenant Kendrick order you guys to give Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
I'm surprised they admitted like this.
Fuck you, Harold!
All right.
Okay. Oh my god, here you have the question of like, if somebody orders you to kill somebody, is it justified? Not really though, but like, also, what was the code red? Is it to put him in order or to get rid of him? I really like this movie. It's like right up my alley.
Kendrick specifically told those men not to touch Santiago.
That's right. And then he went into Dawson Downey's room and specifically told him to give him a code red.
No deal, we're going to court.
Joe. No, you're not.
Why not?
Because you'll lose.
Yeah, I wonder though, like, if it's an order, would they get completely free? I feel like that's weird too. Whoa, I'm so confused because I think I'd take it because they still did something bad.
We did nothing wrong, sir. We did our job, and if that has consequences, then I'll accept them.
You and your code plead not guilty. You'll be in jail for the rest of your life.
So if a higher rank tells them to kill somebody, they just need to do that? It also makes sense that it's different than a regular boss telling that to a regular employee.
And I will not dishonor myself, my unit, or the Corps so that I can go home in 6 months.
I get that too. I feel like it's very admirable too. This is always an interesting question of like the whole taking deals and saying that you've done something to be out quicker versus people who did not do anything and are like, I'm not going to take this deal. I'd rather sit in jail and then go out and still say I'm not guilty. I don't know what I would pick, to be honest, but I'm also not as passionate about this as he is, so...
I want you to stand up and make an argument.
An argument that didn't work for the Nazis at Nuremberg.
Do you really think that's the same as 2 teenage Marines executing a routine order they never believed would result in harm?
I feel like that's super important, the part that they would believe that it wasn't going to result in harm.
And if you walk away from this now, you've sealed their fate.
Their fate was sealed the moment Santiago died. It doesn't matter what I believe. It only matters what I can prove.
You're nothing. Live with that.
Okay. If it's really true that they didn't believe it was going to end up in harm, then I think it's right that they followed the order without question. Because what would have happened if they didn't follow the order, you know? Damn, this is really nuanced.
They're not guilty. Why does a lieutenant junior grade with 9 months experience and a track record for plea bargaining get assigned a murder case? Would it be so that it never sees the inside of a courtroom?
Oh...
Blackman, Sam, get a couple of desk lamps. I need you to start on a preliminary medical profile. And Joe, we need all...
That's an interesting take as well. If I understand that right, I might be wrong, but that's because he's like, they think he's never going to bring it to court and that pisses him off. Let's go.
Any decent human being would have refused.
You're not permitted to question orders.
Yeah.
They work at a place where you have to wear camouflage or you might get shot.
There is this context that changes a lot compared to other contexts, so yeah.
I don't know, I just want to be able to show it could have been something other than poison.
An interesting case in Belgium, and it was called like the... Okay, I don't know how to say it in English. Anyway, like a shoe that you wear at night. Because somebody threw it at their partner, and this person died. Which you reasonably cannot expect that somebody would die from you throwing a shoe at someone, but they had this disease that like eggshell skull or something, so they were more prominent to dying from something like that, but nobody knew that. So interesting.
Don't wear that perfume in court. Wrecks my concentration.
Really?
I was talking to Sam.
That was a good one.
We're ready.
Better believe it.
Is there gonna be an enemies to lovers arch in this one?
Your Aunt Jenny?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I was expecting someone older.
So was I.
Oh, nice. Nice hit.
That the accused soaked the rag in poison and entered Santiago's room with motive and intent to kill. Now, Lieutenant Caffey is going to try a little misdirection and dazzle you with official-sounding terms like code red. He'll have no evidence, mind you, none.
I feel like that's such a good speech, though. To like exactly prepare already everything that he's gonna say and then be like, but forget about that.
When Dawson and Downey went into Santiago's room that night, it wasn't because of vengeance or hatred. It's because it was what they were ordered to do. Because they did their job.
I feel like if the jury is military as well, some of them are gonna be like, yeah, no.
Why wasn't he charged with firing at the enemy without cause?
There wasn't enough evidence to support such a charge.
Thank you.
Mm.
Santiago was the only eyewitness. I never had the chance to interview him.
And now we'll never know. Will we, Mr. McGuire?
Oh, damn. Strong point.
Private Santiago betrayed a code we believe in very deeply, sir.
What was the order?
Sir, he said Santiago wasn't to be touched.
Corporal Hammaker, are you in Dawson and Downey's barracks room 5 minutes after this meeting?
No, sir.
I have no more questions.
3 o'clock, Stone says he doesn't know what killed Santiago. Then he meets with Jessup, and at 5 o'clock he says it was poison.
Let's go over what we have.
It's so nasty that they try to cover themselves and be like, you guys need to intervene. And then if it gets out of hand, they're like, we need to cover this up, that we have any involvement.
Did Willie Santiago die of poisoning?
Absolutely.
Now, you're aware that the lab report and the coroner's report show no traces of poison.
There are literally dozens of toxins which are virtually undetectable.
I didn't see it, so it must be true.
Commander, is it possible for a person to have an affliction, some sort of condition, which might also speed up the process of acidosis?
Yes! Yes!
Commander, if I had a coronary condition and a perfectly clean rag was placed in my mouth, and the rag was accidentally pushed too far down.
He was also struggling with the exercises, so maybe there was something.
It would have to be a very serious condition.
What kind of symptoms?
There are hundreds of...
Chest pains?
Yes.
Shortness of breath?
Yes.
Fatigue?
Of course.
Yes!
Would you read your handwritten remarks at the bottom of the page, please, sir?
Patient complains of chest pains, shortness of breath, and fatigue.
Allee,
Well, that Santiago had a serious coronary condition. It was that condition and not some mysterious poison.
No.
What?
Private Santiago was given a clean bill of health.
That's why it had to be poison, right, Commander?
Because you cannot be wrong.
I have no more questions, Your Honor.
Oof, that was
In your professional medical opinion, was Willie Santiago poisoned?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. I have no more questions.
The problem is that in this case, he is so like conflict of interest type of stuff, because if he admits that it wasn't poison, he gets himself in many trouble, so much trouble.
They tortured and tormented a weaker kid. They didn't like him, so they killed him, because he couldn't run very fast.
Everybody take the night off. Oh, I know. Look, we were working 20 hours a day for 3.5 weeks straight. Just take the night off. Or Joe, go do whatever it is you do.
So very nice. It's also good to see, like, I think in a group of lawyers, to see each perspective on the case. And what are your personal, like, you are still a person, right? So what drives you?
I should have called first.
Just watch the ball game. Come on.
Take the night off. I'm here.
Are you asking me out on a date?
No.
Sounded like you were asking me on a date.
I wasn't.
I've been asked out on dates before, and that's what it sounded like.
Never seen this before. See, what I really miss here is like diners. The typical American diners.
I think you're an exceptional lawyer, and I think Dawson and Downey are going to end up owing their lives to you.
I think you should prepare yourself for the fact that we're going to lose. I can't prove it ever happened.
It's true. There's gonna be a lack of paper though. Yeah, maybe Markinson, and the lack of paper that he had to be placed to another place. He asked that, but have we seen that already?
Have you ever received a code red?
Yes, sir, my weapon slipped. The guys in my squad threw a blanket over me. Took turns punching me in the arm for 5 minutes. And then they poured glue on my hands. And it worked too, because I ain't never dropped my weapon since.
Oh no, they feel like, yeah, this is absolutely justified.
You got a code red because your palms were sweaty. Why didn't Santiago, this burden to his unit, ever get one?
Dawson wouldn't allow it, sir.
Dawson wouldn't allow it.
Jeffrey, did you ever want to give Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you?
Because Dawson would kick my butt, sir.
So it proves that he's not someone to do this quickly, and he wouldn't initiate it himself.
Just flip to the page in the book that discusses code reds.
If they all say that this is a common thing, it's like, what are you trying to do here?
Oh, I don't know if
Oh, we're luck then. But now I assume we'll find the term code red and its definition in that book. Am I correct?
Yeah, things that are not allowed from law never happen. That's why courts don't exist.
Would you turn to the page in this book that says where the mess hall is?
Lieutenant Caffey, that's not in the book, sir.
But you do know where the mess hall is.
You mean to say in all your time at Gitmo, you've never had a meal?
No, sir. 3 squares a day.
How did you know where the mess hall was if it's not in this book?
Well, I guess I just followed the crowd at chow time, sir.
No more questions.
I feel like that was a really lousy argument. He knows it too.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
What do you know?
I know everything.
Was it a code red?
Yes. He was never going to be transferred off that base.
You've got the transfer order. It's got your signature.
I signed him the morning you arrived in Cuba, 5 days after Santiago died.
Also, they did have it, but anti-dating? I don't know how to translate this.
Where is he?
The downtown lodge in Northeast.
I want him guarded. We're gonna win.
Joe, don't get crazy about this. We don't know who Markinson is. We don't know what the logbook's gonna say. Transfer the Markinson signed. It's phony. Jessup's statement that the 6 a.m. flight was the first available is a lie. We're checking the tower chief's log.
If he says that the document was forged, though, that's very strong.
I'm your friend, and I'm telling you, I don't think your clients belong in jail, but I don't get to make that decision.
I was thinking that, like, if you defend the public, then you can decide yourself what you think is right and go after that. But yeah, he is defending the government.
You're a lousy fucking softball player, Jack!
Okay.
You boys are going down, Danny. I can't stop it anymore.
That's the reason why I didn't want to become a lawyer. Like, knowing that you're gonna win and put someone in jail who's, in your opinion, not guilty. Like, that winning is actually losing in your moral sense. Oof.
I have 2 books at my bedside, Lieutenant. The Marine Corps Code of Conduct and the King James Bible. The only proper authorities I am aware of are my commanding officer, Colonel Nathan R. Jessup, and the Lord our God.
It's a weird thing to say in a courtroom.
You prefer to be handled within the unit.
Yes, I most certainly did.
Lieutenant, do you know what a code red is?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever ordered a code red?
No, I have not.
But you did order the barracks restriction, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Kendrick, was Dawson given a rating of below average because you learned he'd been sneaking food to Private Bell?
Object!
Not so fast.
What crime did he commit? Dawson brought a hungry guy some food. What crime did he commit?
He disobeyed an order.
It was because he made a decision about the welfare of a Marine that was in conflict with an order of yours. He was punished.
Lance Corporal Dawson disobeyed an order.
A Marine of Dawson's intelligence can be trusted to determine on his own which are the really important orders.
I love this.
Can Dawson determine on his own which orders he's going to follow?
No, he cannot.
A lesson he learned after the Curtis Bell incident, am I
So
right?
the only thing that we still need to prove is that there was an order. There was an order, he had to follow it, and the person died without them wanting.
I specifically ordered those men.
Is it reasonable to think he would have disobeyed you again?
Lieutenant, don't answer that. Did you order Lance Corporal Dawson and Private Downey to give Willie Santiago a code red?
Did you? I did not.
Thank you.
Tower Chief's log from that night, Jessup's telling the truth.
Could be forged too, no? Did they not check the logs from arriving planes on the other side?
He fixed the logbook? Well, maybe he can make it so a plane didn't take off, but I can sure as hell prove that one landed.
Yes! I'm really happy that I got a few things right. Man, I'd be really afraid if I was him. Oh my god.
A code red was ordered by my platoon commander, Lieutenant Jonathan James Kendrick.
I'm really scared that for this.
Of an order that Lieutenant Kendrick gave you in your barracks room at 1620, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Well, if you didn't make it back to the barracks until 1645, how could you be in your room at 1620? Did you ever actually hear Lieutenant Kendrick order a code red?
Hal said that...
Private, did you ever...
No, sir.
Oh my god!
Hal? Private, answer the captain's question.
I was given an order by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson.
Yeah, not good. Not good. Ah, really bad.
Markinson's dead. Anyway, since we seem to be out of witnesses, I thought I'd drink a little.
I still think we can win. You're gonna use what happened today as an excuse to give up. Why did you ask Jessup for the transfer order? You wanted to see Jessup's reaction when you asked for the transfer order. Now, damn it, let's put Jessup on the stand and end this thing. He told Kendrick to order the code red.
Oh, and of course, you have proof of that. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. You were sick the day they taught law at law school.
He needs to get back to himself a little bit. Oh, Sam. It's always the Sams, right? In these movies, the wholesome ones.
Did I ever tell you I wrote a paper about your father in college? One of the best trial lawyers ever. And if I were Dawson and Downey and I had a choice, I'd choose you any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Aww.
Joanne! Joe, get me.
Is he...
Joanne, please.
Is he driving drunk?
I'm gonna put Jessup on the stand.
The romantic music. I'm excited to see it, but also very nervous.
To win, Jessup needs to tell the court members that he ordered the code red.
That's it? That's the plan?
That's the plan.
What does the clothing mean? He saw that in the closet. Why did he wash his clothes if he was ordered to go? Why didn't he pack if he was ordered to go at 6? What's going on? I don't know.
Where's Sam?
He's on his way.
I feel like this is a movie that's gonna make justice win in the end.
The court is aware.
Oh, there we go.
I ordered Markinson to have Santiago transferred off the base immediately. The 0600 was the first flight off the base.
Did you wear that uniform on the plane?
I wore utilities on the plane.
Brought your dress uniform with you.
Yes.
Ah, and he didn't have one. He didn't have the blue one in his closet.
I'm wondering why Santiago wasn't packed.
Yes!
Tell you what, we'll get back to that one in a minute. 14 letters that Santiago wrote requesting, in fact begging for a transfer. Upon hearing the news, do you know how many people he called? 0. Not one call to his parents saying he was coming home. You were leaving for one day. You packed a bag and made 3 phone calls. The fact is, there was no transfer orders.
Objection, Your Honor. It's obvious that Lieutenant Caffey's intention this afternoon is to smear a high-ranking Marine officer and...
The objection is noted.
Colonel?
Oh my god.
Are these really the questions that I was called here to answer?
Damn, his face is genius.
Please tell me that their lawyer hasn't pinned their hopes to a phone bill.
Ah, yikes.
I'm not through with my examination. Sit down.
Please, sir.
Defense counsel will address the witness as Colonel or Sir.
I don't know what the hell kind of unit you're running here.
And the witness will address this court as Judge or Your Honor. I'll allow the witnesses.
This is ridiculous. Oh, check the tower logs, for Christ's sake.
A moment ago, you said that you ordered Lieutenant Kendrick to tell his men that Santiago wasn't to be touched.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die.
So if they follow orders, there was an order to do this. Like, it's one or the other. Or they disobeyed.
If you gave an order, then why would Santiago be in danger? Why would it be necessary to transfer him off the base?
Oh my god, yes!
You said he was being transferred because he was in grave danger.
That's correct.
Your men follow orders or people die.
You snotty little bastard.
Whoa. For all the discipline, he really lost it there.
Lieutenant Kendrick ordered the code red, didn't he? Because that's what you told Lieutenant Kendrick to do. Did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question.
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth! That Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. I would rather you just said thank you.
Very interesting.
Did you order the code red?
You're goddamn right I did!
I suggest the members be dismissed. The witness has rights.
MPs, guard the Colonel.
Yes, sir.
You have the right to remain silent.
I'm being charged with a crime?
He could actually use the other guy's argument as well, saying that he didn't.
You fucked with the wrong Marine! You have no idea how to defend a nation.
And you're under arrest, you son of a bitch.
The members find the accused not guilty. And you are ordered to be dishonorably discharged from the Marine Corps.
Oh, whoa, so for them that's still...
We did nothing wrong!
Yeah, we did. We were supposed to fight for Willie.
I kind of agree with the verdict as well. Because if you say like, oh, it's an order, then you kind of agree that the code reds are something to keep doing. And now you send, like, it's not okay to do these code reds on both sides.
You don't need to wear a patch in your arm to have honor.
Oh. So this is what a courtroom looks like. Can you guys steak knives now? Damn, I love this movie so much. I do feel that the risk I take when I watch a courtroom movie as this is that I really like to constantly also explain what I think is going to happen and all of that. So I'm sorry if that was annoying, but I really like to do that and speculate long. And I think with a reaction, it would be weird to do that inside and not externalize that. So here we are. I love the fact, first of all, the courtroom scenes, that they were like, it was very a quick paced case. You could also follow along and like speculate a little bit. I think everybody got a few things right and a few wrong probably. So I feel like it's nice where you can actually follow along a little bit too. But what I feel like was the extra level as well is the military and that kind of hierarchy that I feel like as an outsider is very hard to understand how that works with commands and codes and all of that. Because of course all of us would be like, don't do that. But in a hierarchy, it's sometimes hard to say no to certain things. And I feel in that sense it was a very good case, because although these men did something that is awful, you get the aspect of like, well, first of all, they didn't think it was going to be this awful, so that is very important as well, but also they felt like they had to do it. And then I really liked the verdict as well. So all in all, legal-wise, I had so much fun. I also feel like the acting was actually really, really good in this one. So I love this movie overall a lot. And I'm so happy that I watched it today. I hope you like this reaction as much as I liked the movie. And yeah, if you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see other reactions, let me know which ones you want to see in the comment sections. If you have other courtroom movies that maybe are not for the channel, but just for me, make sure to recommend them, because I feel like I've missed out on so many and I love them all the time. So make sure to recommend me some good courtroom movies. If you want to see the full reaction to this one, you can find it over on Patreon as always. I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye!